Hi, and welcome to Preschool Storytime. This program is designed for children ages 3 to 5, but everyone is welcome to join. My name is Miss Erica, and I'm from the Chattanooga Public Library.
Hey grown-ups, one more thing. Please fill out the survey that's linked in the description box below. It is so hard for us to not see smiling faces every week, and your feedback will help us know how we're doing and how we can serve you better. Thanks.
I'm excited you're here today. We are talking about moose. Have you seen a moose before? Probably not around here, but I bet you've seen pictures of moose. They have big antlers that come out of their head, like this. Well, before we start reading about moose, we are going to do our clap and say hello song. So clap along with me. We clap and say hello, we clap and say hello. With our friends at Storytime, we clap and say hello. Stomp your feet. We stomp and say hello, we stomp and say hello. With our friends at Storytime, we stomp and say hello. Wiggle. We wiggle and say hello, we wiggle and say hello. With our friends at Storytime, we wiggle and say hello. Wave. We wave and say hello, we wave and say hello. With our friends at Storytime, we wave and say hello. Hello. Well, are you ready to get started? I know I am. Our first book is called Moose on the Loose. Did you hear that rhyme? Moose, loose, these words rhyme. Moose, loose, these words rhyme. Moose, loose, these words rhyme. Rhyme along with me. Maybe we'll find more rhymes in this book. It is by Kathy Jo Wargan and illustrated by John Bendel Brunello. It is published by Sleeping Bear Press. Here, oh, that's a huge moose. What do you do with a moose on the loose? Would you chase him, or race him, or stand up and face him? What would you do with a moose on the loose? Did you hear all those rhymes? Chase, race, face. What would you do with a moose in your yard? Would you ask for a ride, or invite him to slide? What would you do with a moose in your yard? What if that moose came to live in your house? Would you read him a book? Would you teach him to cook? Look at that mess they made trying to cook. Oh boy. Would you ask him to dance? Would you dress him in pants? What would you do with a moose in your house? Look, he is way too big for those pants. He ripped them right down the side. Now what if that moose went upstairs to your room? Would you share all your toys? Would you make lots of noise? Would you play hide and seek? Do you think he would peek? Would you beat him at chess? Would you make a big mess? Would you ask him to sing and then crown him as king? What if the moose was wearing your socks? Would you cry? Would you yell? Would you tell him they smell? Would you give him 2 more and bid him farewell? Why would Moose need 2 more socks? You're right. He's got his 2 front feet up here. Then he would have 1, 2, 3, 4 socks. And what if Moose took a bath in your tub? Would you give him 2 boats? Would you see if he floats? Do you think a moose would float in a bathtub? You may have to try it. Would you towel him dry? Would you tell him don't cry? Would you find pajamas and then feed him pie? Look, he has ripped up the back of these jammies too. He is way too big. What if the moose went to sleep in your bed? Would you tuck him in tight? Would you kiss him good night? Would you plump up his pillow and turn out the light? Would you tickle his toes? Would you pinch his nose? Did you hear those rhymes? Toes, nose. Would you shout, "This is it! You are too big to fit"? And what if that moose says to you the next day, "I think I'll stay"? Would you chase him away? Would you say it's okay? And go ask your mother. She has the last say. What would you do with a moose in your house? I don't know if I would have room for a moose in my house. I may have to ask him to go out into the yard and maybe find a bed for him out there. Well, I have another story about a moose. You know these moose are trouble, aren't they? This is If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Larnie, Moroff. If you give a moose a muffin, he's going to ask for some jam to go with it. Some homemade blackberry jam. And then he'll eat that one. And he'll ask for another. And another. And another. And another. Until they're all gone. And then he'll want some more. So you'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. But it's kind of chilly outside. So he's going to ask for a sweater. And he'll put it on, and then he'll notice a button is missing. He'll have to sew one back on. So he asks for a needle and some thread. And he sews on the button. And while he's sewing, he will remember that his grandma used to make him sock puppets. And he'll want to make one too. So he'll ask you for a sock. And then he'll make a puppet. And after he makes a puppet, he'll want to put on a puppet show. Well, he's going to need some paint to make the scenery. So, he asks you for some paint. And he paints some lovely scenery. And now he's ready to put on the puppet show. He'll hide behind the couch. But then his antlers will stick up. And he'll need something to cover them. So he'll ask you for a sheet. And you'll bring him a white sheet. He'll cover his antlers and do his puppet show. But having a sheet on his head will make him remember that he was a ghost on Halloween. And he'll walk around and say, "Boo!" and scare you. But since he can't see with the sheet on his head, he'll knock over the paints. And then the paint will get all over your mom's white sheet. Uh-oh. Well, now he's going to have to wash it. So he's going to need some soap. So after he's done washing, come back, Moose. After he's done washing the sheet, then he's going to take it out into the backyard to dry. While he's out in the backyard, he will see your blackberry bushes. And that will make him think of blackberry jam. So he'll ask for some. And chances are, if you give a moose blackberry jam, he's going to want a what? You're right, a muffin to go with it. The end. Oh, Moose. Alrighty, I hope you are ready to get moving. We are going to sing Sleeping Bunnies. So first you need to go to sleep. You can lay down on the floor, or you can just rest your head on your hands and close your eyes. When I say wake up bunnies, you're going to jump up and you are going to hop, 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 hop all around your room. Are you ready? So, I need you to go to sleep. Close your eyes. You can snore if you want to. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? No, wake up bunnies! Hop little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop little bunnies, hop, hop, stop. Go back to sleep. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, stop. Okay, go back to sleep one more time. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? No, wake up, bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. 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 Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, stop. Good job, bunnies. All right, I have another moose book. This is called This Moose Belongs to Me. This is by Oliver Jeffers. And it is published by Philomo Books. Wilfred owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he just knew it was meant to be his. He thought he would call him Marcel. He began following Marcel and explaining the rules of how to be a good pet. Much of the time, it seemed as though the moose wasn't listening, but Wilfred knew he was, mostly because he followed Rule 4 very well, not making too much noise while Wilfred plays his record collection. I wonder what kind of a noise a moose would make. Sometimes Moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored Rule 7, going whichever way Wilfred wanted to go. The moose was a very good moose. He had a good sense of direction, and Wilfred did not. And because the moose was particularly poor at Rule 7, subsection B, maintaining a certain proximity to home, Wilfred quickly learned to bring some string along on their outings so he could find his way back, so he didn't get lost in the woods. There goes Moose into the forest. Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble at all with Rule 11, providing shelter from the rain. Or Rule 16, knocking down things that are out of Wilfred's reach. He can reach way up to get that apple. One day, as Wilfred discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he made a terrible discovery. Someone else thought she owned the moose. Roderick, you're back! Wilfred was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Rodrigo. That old lady was mistaken, and Wilfred thought it only proper to correct her. This moose belongs to me, he explained. And to prove it, he called Marcel. Heel! But the moose didn't respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady. Good Rodrigo. Embarrassed and enraged, Wilfred rushed off home. But in his haste, and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and got tangled up. And there he lay. Oh no, he's stuck. At night, Wilfred was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was late, and the monsters would be out soon. He had just ruled out the last of his options. He has some ideas of how to escape. A penguin? No, no penguins. A chainsaw? No. A bear with an axe? No. A hammer? No. A storm? No. Well, then along came Moose and performed rule number 73 brilliantly, rescuing your owner from a perilous situation. I think it was an accident that he rescued him. All was forgiven, and perhaps Wilfred admitted he never really owned the moose anyway. There they go. Off into the woods, and he's got his blue string. Maybe he won't trip over it this time. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilfred's rules, whenever it suited him. That means He never really followed the rules in the first place, because he's just a moose. I have some more moose. I gotta clear off my flannel board. Can you guess how many moose that I have? Did you guess? Let's see if you're right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, they're not gonna fit. 5. Did you guess 5? Show me your 5 fingers. These are 5 mighty moose. 5 mighty moose sat quietly on the floor. One toppled over. Wow! And then there were 4. 4 mighty moose. 2 and 2, you see. One toppled over. Wow! And then there were 3. 3 mighty moose wanted something new. One toppled over. Wow! And then there were 2. 2 mighty moose wished for some fun. One toppled over. Wow! And then there was 1. 1 mighty moose felt like he weighed a ton. Oh, whoa, he toppled over. Wow! And then there were none. I bet a moose does weigh a ton. They are quite large animals. Alrighty, we are going to sing. Put your hands up high. So reach your arms way up over your head. We're going to start slowly and then get faster and faster. Here we go. Put your hands up high. Put your hands down low. Put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows in the front. Put your elbows in the back. Put your elbows to the sides and quack, quack, quack. Faster. Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows in the front, put your elbows in the back, put your elbows to the sides and quack, quack, quack. Faster. Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows in the front, put your elbows in the back, put your elbows to the sides and quack, quack, quack. All right, it's time for Supersonic Warp Speed! As fast as you possibly can go. Put your hands up high, put your hands low, put your hands low, put your elbows back, put your elbows to the sides and quack, quack, quack. Good job! You are amazing. I can tell you've been practicing. We are all done with our moose stories for the day. I am so excited that you joined me, and I really miss you. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.